So we'll chant Om 3 times. Take a normal breath in and relax. Breathing in for Om. 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मद्श्रीगुरुपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहैः तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। You're able to see my screen?
Yes, Didi.
So we will start with chapter 2, verse 48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhayo samo bhutva siddhayo samo
सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा
सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा samatvam yoga uchyate. Thank you, Dr. Brahmada. So Dhananjaya, O Dhananjaya, Arjuna, yogastha, being steadfast in yoga, sangam, attachment, tyaktva, abandoning, siddhyoha, with reference to success and failure, sama, the same, bhutva, being, karmani, actions, kuru, do, samatvam, evenness of mind, yoga uchyate, is called yoga. Remaining steadfast in yoga, O Dhananjaya, perform actions, abandoning attachment, remaining the same to success and failure alike. This evenness of mind is called yoga. The recognition in your life that Ishvara is the karma phaladata brings about a certain attitude called samatva. Raga and dvesha are the cause for attachment, sanga, which prompts us to say, this should or should not happen to me. The raga dveshas become a sanga with reference to any karma phala that is going to affect you. Then only it is raga dvesha. But if you have the attitude of samatva, raga dveshas are neutralized. They are rendered incapable of creating any kind of reaction in you. The raga dveshas manifest themselves through various karmas, and in time, by one's attitude of samatva, they become neutralized. This is what is meant by karma yoga. Staying or abiding in yoga, being yogastha, means enjoying this attitude of samatva. This evenness of mind, with reference to both success, siddhi, and failure, asiddhi, is called yoga. It is what makes you a yogi. Samatvam yoga uchyate. It is a separate sentence in this verse that defines yoga. As stated earlier, there are two definitions for karma yoga in this chapter. The first one is this, samatva, whereas the other one is yoga karmashu kaushalam, spiritually enjoined karma and the four ashramas. Spiritually enjoined actions, Vaidika karmas, are made up of many rituals. These rituals can be divided into four categories. Kamya karmas, meant for producing given results desired by a given person. Nitya karma, daily rituals. Naimittika karma, occasional rituals. And Prayaschitta karma, rituals to right away wrongs done. There is a ritual called Putra Kameshti for those who want children. Dasharatha, Rama's father, had no children. Being a king, he had to have children so that there would be someone to rule the kingdom after his death. Naturally, he wanted children. Therefore, he performed the ritual Putra Kameshti and had 4 children. Putra Kameshti is still done and known to work even in fairly recent times. Perhaps any ritual in any religion will work if the person performing it has faith, Shraddha, in it. Putra Kameshti is a very expensive ritual so that only a rich man can do it. We see here how the Veda can be very tricky. This kind of karmas or ritual is an example of Kamya karma, a ritual performed purely for a given desired result. Even though Kamya karma was designed and unfolded by the Veda, which tells you that a certain karma will produce a certain result, this does not mean that Kamya karma is for Antakarana Shuddhi. Particular rituals are mentioned for particular results and are purely for desired objects. Kamya, such as the desire for a child. Similarly, there are many rituals mentioned in the Veda whose result is said to be heaven. These too are all Kamya karmas. Then there are Nitya karmas and Naimittika karmas, which can be considered together. Nitya karma means a ritual or prayer that is to be done every day. Which rituals or prayers are to be done depends on a person's status. An unmarried person, brahmachari, has a twofold karma to perform. The first is a prayer, Sandhya Vandana, enjoined by the Veda to be done 3 times a day at sunrise, at noon, and at sunset. The second is a fire ritual, Samidhadana, performed once a day in the morning, wherein the prayer is, may I become brilliant, may I learn, may I be a person who has total control over myself. For a married person called a householder, Grihastha, the Nitya Karma differs somewhat. Sandhya Vandana continues, whereas Samidhana is replaced by Agnihotra, another fire ritual, which is also a Nitya Karma. This karma has to be performed twice a day, morning and evening. On the day of marriage, the fire is lit and it is not allowed to die until the person takes sannyasa or dies. If the married person dies before sannyasa, this same fire is used for the cremation of the body. Thus, the life of a householder is a dedicated religious life. The person can do anything in between, but these nitya karmas have to be performed every day without fail. When a married person withdraws from the duties of a householder and enters the next stage of life called Vanaprastha, a few more karmas are added. These are of the nature of meditation. In this third stage of life, Sandhya Vandana and Agnihotra rituals must still be performed. There is no way of escaping these karmas except by sannyasa or death. In sannyasa, the vow for or commitment, diksha, taken earlier to perform these rituals is given up and the person is no longer bound to do these karmas. One's hair and the various account, is that accoutrements. I don't know what that means. One's hair and the various accoutrements of the earlier initiations are also given up, including the Gayatri Mantra. Only the Omkara remains and a few essentials. By saying that he is no longer interested in gaining heaven, having children, and so on. And by saying that one should not, no one should be afraid of him thereafter. And by saying that no one should be afraid of him thereafter, a man becomes a sannyasi. It is a very serious commitment. But until sannyasa, he must definitely perform the various rituals enjoined by the Vedas. Performing these nitya karmas, you do gain results in the form of punya or antakarna shuddhi. But the main point here is that they are to be done daily and generally they are done. Naimittika karmas, on the other hand, are those rituals to be done on particular occasions at a particular time on a particular day, like on the anniversary of the death of one's mother or father. Such a ritual called Shraddha, 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 which must be performed monthly on the new moon day, and a more elaborate ritual is done on the anniversary date itself. This too is done until sannyasa. Shraddha, Shraddha is not done daily and is only done if one's father or mother has passed away, because these karmas are done on a particular occasion, nimitta. They are called naimittika karmas. Naimittika karmas are generally performed by householders, although the Shraddha karma, Shraddha, although the Shraddha karma mentioned above is done by everyone except sannyasis. Other Naimittika karmas performed by householders include the rituals done on the day when the northern and southern solstices begin. Eclipses of the sun and moon are also recognized in this way, based on ancient methods of calculation. It has been said that if you think the Shastra is false, wait for an eclipse. Finally, karmas that are done to right a wrong, called prayaschitta karmas, are performed when what is not to be done was done or there was some omission during the performance of any ritual. Thus, a particular karma can neutralize the results of wrong action, be it an omission or a commission. An example of prayaschitta karma is Chandrayana, wherein you regulate the amount of food you eat for 1 month. Beginning on the full moon day, you take the amount of food that you would ordinarily eat. The next day, you cut it down by 1/15, and the second day by another 1/15, continuing in this way until the new moon day, during which you eat nothing at all. Then you begin again on the first day after the new moon, on the Prathama, by taking 1/15, then 2/15 on the second day, adding increments of 1/15 portion each day until the full moon day, when you again eat as before. During this entire period, certain rituals are performed. Prayaschitta karma then is the fourth type of karma, a karma of atonement. The purpose of karma yoga. You want any discussion or it's all good?
We actually did this reading yesterday, but because
Okay.
we, mm,
Okay.
we stopped, I think, after this.
Okay. So the purpose of karma yoga. In karma yoga, you give up kamya karma and perform nitya naimittika karmas as an offering to the Lord, as well as for purifying the mind. According to the definition of kamya karma stated above, karma is always involved. This karma is given up in karma yoga. Shankara says here that by performing these various Vaidika rituals, for the sake of Antakarana Shuddhi, you become a karma yogi. Otherwise, you are only a karmi. When you perform karma for a particular end alone, you will gain only that end. You will not gain the mind necessary for gaining the knowledge, that is moksha, because you have no vyavasayit, vyavasayit, vyavasayitikatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. I'll read this again. You will not gain the mind necessary for gaining the knowledge, that is moksha, because you have no vyavasayatmika buddhi. If, however, you have vyavasayatmika buddhi, all your karmas are directed towards one thing, moksha. And for moksha, you require the mind, antakarana, that is prepared. Moksha is not gained through karma. Karma is only for preparing the mind. Thus, preparing the mind through karma becomes yoga for you. In Gita, the word karma is usually used with reference to Vaidika karma. Vaidika karma. However, when Arjuna was asked to do karma, it is not a ritual to be performed. He was to fight. It was his duty. Shankara confirms this also. Fighting is the to be done obligatory karma for a Kshatriya. Thus, Karma Yoga covers all activities. And if karma is taken to mean any action performed, which is the actual meaning of the word, then we have to look at karma from the standpoint of a person's entire life. The actions then referred to will be those activities that one performs in the attempt to fulfill all one's ragadveshas. Since you have ragadveshas and they have to be neutral, to give up your likes and dislikes as you would like a hat. Likes and dislikes are there. They are not just given up. They constitute the person. However, when you perform actions with a sameness of attitude, samatva, towards the results of your actions, your ragadveshas are neutralized. This attitude is karma yoga. The attitude of samatva mentioned in this verse is not with reference to the action itself. It is with reference to the result, the phala of any action. This attitude is present in the Vedic culture and is called prasada buddhi. We have seen that even children are named prasad because they are thought of as a prasada. If your son is prasada, then you are also prasada to your parents. Your physical body is not only prasada to others, but also to yourself. A house is called prasada. The food cooked, offered to the Lord, and then eaten is also considered prasada. Thus, this attitude, prasada buddhi, is an important aspect of karma yoga. It is important to note here that any translation that says we should perform action without expecting a result has no basis in the Veda. Such an interpretation serves only to create additional complexes. Try as we might, we find that we cannot do karma without expecting some result. The truth of the matter is that no one can perform action without expecting a result. Even a dull-witted person cannot engage in any activity without expecting a result. Therefore, this meaning of karma yoga must be abandoned. Okay. Samatva, attitude in the mind, and prasada buddhi. Another definition of karma yoga, although this verse presents a particular line of argument, the fact is that this is not the only way of looking at it. Let us therefore look at the other definition of yoga. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. Karmasu means with reference to actions. Thus, with reference to actions, yoga is kaushala, meaning the state of mind or the disposition of a kaushala, one who is an expert. So again, kaushala is a state of mind or skill, disposition of a skill, one who is an expert. All kinds of meaning are given to this expert, the qualities that make an expert. Thus, it has been said that kaushala is an expertise or skill. From this meaning, a modern translation for the second definition of yoga has come about. People say skill in action is yoga, which seems to convey that it is efficiency of some kind. Although efficiency is always desirable, it is not what karma yoga is about. The inappropriateness of this translation will become clear as we proceed. In the Gita, the word karma is usually used with reference to Vaidika karma. However, if karma is taken to mean any action performed, which is the general meaning of the word, then we have to look at it from the standpoint of the person's entire life. The actions then referred to will be the collective activities that you perform in your attempt to fulfill all your ragadveshas. Here, the skill in action interpretation, meaning that if you are very skillful in action, you are a karma yogi, must also be abandoned. There is a secular translation designed to by this this is a secular translation designed to bypass Ishvara. There are a lot of people who read the Gita without recognizing Ishvara at all. Those who want Karma Yoga without recognizing Ishvara as the Karma Phaladata simply cannot have it. There is Karma Yoga only when Ishvara is recognized. Karma Yoga is a religious attitude, a devotee's attitude. There is no way of escaping this. There is no such thing as secular Karma Yoga. They say that when there is skill in action, when there is efficiency, then the person is a Karma Yogi. A yogi may be efficient in whatever he does, but how can he be efficient if he is given a new job or is just beginning to learn to drive, for example? He has not yet acquired the necessary skill, and therefore he will be inefficient in this respect. Thus, a karma yogi can definitely be inefficient in any area. Conversely, merely because a person is efficient in a given area does not mean that he is a yogi. A pickpocket, for example, is very efficient in picking pockets, whereas if you try to do it, you will get caught. Even before you pick, you will be picked up. Picking pockets is not easy. Not only do you have to be skillful in getting an object out of someone's pocket, you also need to be a master of deception in order not to be accused. Such a person may be skillful in action, but this is definitely not Karma Yoga. A yogi in action may be skillful, but this does not mean that skill in action is yoga. What is Kaushala? Then, what does the word Kaushala mean in this definition? To understand this, let us go back to the first definition, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, where yoga is defined as sameness. Suppose a man says to the Swami, I have my likes and dislikes. For instance, I like my neighbor's money. He has a lot of it and has converted it into gold, which he keeps in his safe. I definitely have a raga for his money, and I also have a dvesha for this man. I hate him because he's so blatant about his riches. He thinks he is such a big shot and he's always showing off. Therefore, I hate him and I love his money. I want to fulfill my raga dvesha. Also, I happened to listen to your talk yesterday. Until then, I had never heard of Karma Yoga. Now I want to ask you, will I continue to be a Karma Yogi if I carry on with this plan? I have been working on a tunnel between my house and the room in which my neighbor's safe is located. I know how to open the safe. I know how the whole thing has to be done. I have only 1 hour left. I have only 1 hour's work left and then I will be there in the room. I was going to do it last night, but having listened to your talk, what I was doing started to bother me. I really want to be a karma yogi. It looks to me as though I can continue with my plan. It looks to me as though I can continue with my plan and still be a karma yogi because you say I have a right, a choice over my action. I have already sent my wife and children away and I will not give you their address. I'm telling you only this much, hoping that you will not tell anyone. I intend to join them tomorrow. Tonight I'm off. My house is already empty, and since I have been renting it, I have nothing more to claim from it. Therefore, everything is set and I'm going to work. Of course, I'm taking a risk. You say that Ishvara is the karma phaladata, the giver of the fruits of action. So I'm going to work 1 more hour tonight so that I can clear out the safe. Of course, I do not know what is going to happen. There may be nothing at all in it. My neighbor may have already cleared it out and put the gold elsewhere. Or the gold may be there, but I may get caught. I may be shot or beaten up. I may be handed over to the police and have to be in jail for a number of years. Anything is possible. Or I may get away with it also. My hope, of course, is that I will get away with it. Therefore, whatever comes, I am going to take it as prasada. If I get all the gold, fine, it is prasada. And if I am beaten up, I will take every stroke as prasada. Will that be okay? Do you think I am a karma yogi? Do you think that when the Lord says in the Gita, do you think that when the Lord says in the Gita that a karma yogi is very beloved to him, he is referring to me? That is what I want to be. I want to be beloved to the Lord. If I take everything as prasada, will I be beloved? It is for this person's sake that we have the definition. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. Kaushala is discretion in one's karma, in one's choice. It is not an untethered choice without norms. It is choice with discretion, meaning that one's choice should be in keeping with certain norms. This then is another very important aspect of Karma Yoga. The first definition is with reference to the results of actions. Karma phala samabhutva. Karma phale samabhutva, which means Karma Yoga is an attitude of samatva, whereas this definition is with reference to the action itself. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushala is your capacity to interpret correctly. This capacity is this capacity to interpret with reference to norms for human interaction is the discretion, the expertise. This capacity to interpret with reference to the norms for human interaction is the discretion, the expertise. The norm for human interaction is called dharma, and the opposite is called adharma. Dharma and adharma form the standard norms. They are not absolutes in that they have to be interpreted according to the given situation. The person who can interpret them properly is called kushala. Dharma and adharma are not to be interpreted according to convenience, but must be in line with what is proper. Proper interpretation of dharma is what is meant by kushala. Kaushala is a yoga because again you are not in the hands of your ragadvesha when you exercise discretion in your choice of action. Kaushala is yoga because you are not in the hands of ragadveshas when you exercise the discretion in your choice of action. Dharma and adharma are universal. The man in the story has ragadveshas. His raga is for the money and dvesha is for his neighbor to whom the money belongs. He wants to go by his raga dveshas and they are totally against dharma and adharma. What should be done? What should not be done? He is doing. Therefore, he is going against dharma, which means he is doing adharma. But could could it not be said that this is all a man-made order? No. Suppose in a particular country there is no law against stealing. Does that mean that if someone takes away what belongs to another, it would not be called stealing? No, it will still be called stealing. This is not the same as the man-made convention that traffic shall proceed on the right. We naturally all proceed on the right because to do otherwise is a definite risk to life and limb and is risk. The police will not let you because you are not the only one involved. Other people will be in danger. Convention then we can describe as man-made. But is the law against stealing man-made? No, because the law that stealing is not right is not man-made. It is universal. If one had anything that was his or her own, there would be no stealing. Even though there would be people, there would be nothing to steal, and therefore no one can steal from the other. However, everyone has something of his or her own, and therefore there is going to be stealing. Even a Swami has a begging bowl and a mala. These are the two important symbols, linga of a sadhu, and he is supposed to carry them. There are thieves for this also, especially now that they have become rare and therefore costly. Thus, even sadhus can lose their few possessions because as long as anyone has something to do with something that is his or her own, there is such thing called stealing. This is universal. Like adharma, dharma also is universal. It is not man-made. Dharma is something that is commonly sensed by a human being and is meant for human interaction. I live and let live. I want to be left alone in the sense that I do not want the few possessions I have to be stolen. And at the same time, I let others live the same way. There is a particular order that is sensed commonly, and this order called dharma is the very basis upon which we are supposed to interact with our fellow beings. The scriptures confirm this and also say that if you go against the order, your action produces what is called papa for you. The scriptures do not tell us what is right and wrong, dharma and adharma. thou shalt do this, thou shalt not do that, etc. They merely confirm what we already know. We do not need anyone to tell us these things. Indeed, our knowledge is such that we tell everyone else. Scriptures the world over merely confirm the existence of a common sense dharma. It is not that they came into the world at certain period of time and finding there was no dharma, established one. People knew what is right and wrong before the scriptures came along. Choice in action implies norms. There is this common sense dharma is there for a human being because he or she has a choice in action. This choice implies a set of norms which must be known. If these norms, the dharma, were not there, the creation would be defective. I could not have been given a choice without having also been given the norms that go with the choice. This would be something like giving a Ferrari to someone who is drunk and does not know how to drive, or giving it to someone when it has no brakes. Having been given a choice, the norms should be common to all without any education being necessary. This is a very important aspect of Dharma. To be given a choice but no knowledge of the norms would also be a defect in the creation. If I did have to be educated about the norms, then no one would have the same opportunity to receive this education. Then certain people would be stealing or getting hurt because they never knew that they should not steal or get hurt. They were never taught. Therefore, without any education at all, I know that I shall not steal or get hurt. I also know that others do not want to be stolen from or be hurt. This then is common norm. What is equally common to you and me is the norm on the basis of which we can choose our actions. What I do want from others, I find others also do not want from me. What I do not want from others, I find others also do not want from me. Therefore, we have a common norm, dharma. And the person who is able to interpret his or her to be done actions in terms of the dharma has kaushala. Let us now complete the story of the man who wants to continue his plans to steal his neighbor's money and take the result as prasada. He will only be fulfilling one part of the Karma Yoga definition. The other part will remain unfulfilled because there is no kaushala. He is not even interpreting. He is going against the very dharma. If someone wanted to rob him, how would he take it? He would not allow it, which means that he should not rob anyone else because it is a wrong action. If everyone were simply to say, so what? All the norms, all we would have would be confusion. Every day, the society is not so confused. Even today, the society is not so confused that we are prevented from conducting our lives. People more or less do follow the same norms. If everyone were to do exactly what they wanted, then they they would be fulfilling, they would be hitting. I'll read that again. Even today, the society is not so confused. Even today, the society is not so confused that we are prevented from conducting our lives. People more or less do follow same norms. If everyone were to do exactly what they wanted, they would be hitting others, robbing them, and so on. All of which would be going against Dharma. There would be no order, only confusion, and no one would live his or her life. Then there is order in the world even today. That is why we are able to live peacefully. Some of us do not even have gates or fences because there is Dharma. Since there are boundaries that people seem to follow, we cannot say there is no Dharma. Of course, there is adharma too, because choice is there and people are sometimes going to abuse their power of choice. The man who wants to rob his neighbor has to be told, along with Arjuna, that he must conform to Dharma, even though he likes and dislikes, even though his likes and dislikes prompt him to do otherwise. What happens to Ragadveshas then? They are curtailed at the level of action. They must be aligned with Dharma and Adharma. If there are lingering likes and dislikes, which are not in conformity with Dharma and Adharma, there is no one in my heart. There is no one in my heart to claim them. If there are lingering likes and dislikes, which are not in conformity with Dharma and Adharma, there is no one in my heart to claim them. I do not follow them. I do not join them. They rise and they die a natural death. There is no one to claim them because I have no connection with them. They simply rise as fancies and die as fancies. I go only by what is right and wrong. Summary of the definition of Karma Yoga. To summarize then, we have two-part definition of Karma Yoga. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate and Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. With reference to the results of your actions, there is a sameness, samatva, is your response. Gaining this attitude of samatva depends upon the recognition of Ishvara as the karma phaladata, the giver of the fruits of all actions. Whatever results you gain, the laws do not, whatever result you gain, the laws do not cheat you in any way. Therefore, as a karma yogi, you have the same attitude towards both desirable and undesirable results of your actions. Karma phale samatva buddhi. Then, with reference to action itself, because there is choice involved as a karma yogi, you exercise your choice based on certain norms. These norms are indicated by the rules of dharma and adharma. They are universal, common to all. Samanya dharma. Even natural laws requires interpretation. Although common to all, Samanya Dharma must be interpreted to accommodate given situations so that it is appropriate to the members. It is appropriate to the situation. Although common to all, Samanya Dharma must be interpreted to accommodate given situations so that it is appropriate to the situation. This interpreted dharma is referred to as Vishesha Dharma. Ordinary law ordinary laws also have similar provisions. That you should keep to the right in the traffic is a law that is universal in America. But suppose a huge truck is coming towards me in the same lane. By keeping to the left, the driver of the truck is doing the wrong thing and I am doing the right thing. But I am driving a very small, lightweight car. By keeping to the right, I am right. But if I refuse to interpret the law and do not budge an inch because I am right and he is wrong, I will certainly suffer the consequences. Suppose, however, I swerve to the left, making sure that I am not going to hit anyone in the process, then return to the right when I have avoided the truck, then I have saved the situation. If a police officer sees me going to the left, he or she will not give me a citation, but will go after that truck driver instead. I interpreted the law rightly, and the officer will probably congratulate me for escaping serious injury or death. Every law has an exception. No one has ever made a law, including
Gurudev Sumaji, this is called what karma it is? What karma it is? It's called Vishesha karma.
Vishesha karma.
Vishesh, thank you.
So
Vishesha
depending on
dharma, not karma.
Yeah, Vishesha dharma.
We're talking of dharma here, no? Samanya dharma and Vishesha dharma.
So the way you interpret dharma in the situation. Even though you're doing the right, but in the situation, you may have to deviate a little bit to preserve the dharma. So that is Vishesha dharma. Is that the correct understanding?
And the choice of action depends upon what is priority there. Priority there is not sticking to the right or left of the road. Priority there is to save your life.
What is wise to do at that time?
Right. What is to be done. But at the same time, see, the example is you swerve to the left, making sure that you're not hitting anybody else. Well, this is only an example, but
yeah, but in case there was a possibility of hitting someone, then what I would be doing or what I should be doing, then you stay in the right lane. What is the dharma, to save yourself or?
No,
give it your best shot. Sorry?
No, Apat Dharma, no? Swami Surya Pada was mentioning. Anything you can do, Apat Dharma, you are exempted from.
That's what exactly Krishna told Arjuna, no? That it is the dharma for you to fight, because everything else around you is adharmic. So in the process, you will kill your own people, but you stand up and fight. Because dharma is given the top priority. And he says you are a nimit only. So you have to, I feel, you have to lift your eyes from the ground a little bit and see the full picture. Okay, it's all easy to say, but when you're in the situation, you don't know what you do.
I think in that case, you still stay in the right lane because you'll be following dharma. Though you
No,
want
that's
you
what
will do
Arjuna wanted to do.
reflexly. Yeah, you will just do reflexly what you would do. I think it will be a spontaneous action. There is no
Correct.
Answer to this, because whatever, any spontaneous action is natural and it abides by the universal law.
Correct.
So in that situation, that hypothetical situation where there are there is something on the left side, you will just follow that instinct and that spontaneity. That
Because
will be
that
according
person
to
on the
dharma.
left will also go through a decision making at that time.
Exactly. So it
Not
will be
just,
like a chain of
yeah.
thought,
Yes.
because even
Correct.
that person will see, right? So it's a
Mm.
hypothetical situation, but any spontaneous action, when someone is falling down, you don't think, no, should I go? Should I help or not? Spontaneously you go. So all those spontaneous actions will be abiding by dharma.
Mm. And by sticking to dharma, you may end up losing your life in this hypothetical situation, because a big truck is coming in front of you, but you want to stick to dharma, you may end up losing your life. That's exactly what Arjuna wanted to do. He said it's better they kill me unarmed, all that. But here is where the wise wisdom is needed. And so fortunate Krishna was with him. That dharma takes the highest priority. Every law has an exception. See the next paragraph. No one has ever made a law, including Bhagavan. So nice. Without there being an exception. See? For example, Newton's law of gravitation applies only in certain situations. If you are in a spaceship, peanuts cannot be eaten in the same way as they are eaten here. Instead of going into your mouth, when you toss them up, they will go into the right or left. They will go to the right or the left. Even though Newton's law is really Bhagavan's law, still it does not operate in the same way in all places at all times. Thus, there are no absolute laws. Wow. So liberating. Should I read? Okay, I'll just read this paragraph and finish. That there are no absolute laws, however, does not mean that there is no universality. Dharma is universal because I feel the same way as others feel. However, even what is universal has to be interpreted according to the situation. Although you expect people to speak the truth to you and people expect the same from you, sometimes you may have to tell a lie in order to save someone's life. This is Vishesha Dharma or interpreted Dharma. Vishesha Dharma is when someone other than yourself is the beneficiary of the lie. So nice. Thus, the differences between dharma and adharma with reference to speaking truth depends on whether or not you are the beneficiary of the lie. So nice. All people in governance must follow this. Other examples of Vishesha Dharma are those dharmas imposed by the scriptures, which are only valid insofar as a given place, time, or culture is concerned. For example, a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, and a Shudra have certain duties to perform within the framework of the Vedic culture only. Therefore, these duties are Vishesha Dharma. there can be some question on this. Because these 4 varnas are given by Bhagavan, and many have interpreted that it is the same everywhere. Kshatriya, Shudra, Brahmana. Anyway, we will rest that for now. So it's in the framework of Vedic culture only. Therefore, these duties are Vishesha Dharma. So shall we stop here for today? Anyone wants to do any manana? Okay. Loka samasta sukhinau bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open it.
Jai Gurudev.